Hello, everybody. If you're tuning in right now, this is the Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps live stream of the year 2002. We've been doing these weeklies on Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you're tuning in weekly. Next week, we'll be doing 2003. Also, as a quick announcement, alumni, anyone that has marched Impulse, we're going to do an after hours hang, not live streamed, to share the stories that we want to share, to have some adult beverages. It'll be not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, June 21st. It'll go from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and there's going to be an Eventbrite ticket that will be mailed out to everyone. Not mailed out, emailed out to everyone, and also published on the Impulse Alumni Facebook page. So make sure you tune in there. Lastly, Impulse Youth Arts has just announced a brand new online educational institution called the Impulse Institute. If you want more information, please go to www.impulseyouth.org and check that out. It's a customizable, completely unique online institution that's month to month. So if you've ever wanted to learn any instrument, you can log in there, pay the fee, and we will teach you. So with all that aside, we're going to introduce our fantastic panelists here for 2002. I'm going to announce your name, and then you just tell us when you marched, what instruments you marched, or what position you marched, and what you're doing now. So first up, let's go with Evan Arnold.
I marched 2000, 2002. I played soprano, loved it. Played high notes, played low notes, ran around like a crazy person, and had a blast with them. Did I forget anything?
What are you doing now?
Yeah, what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm head of technology for a gaming division within Oculus at Facebook.
All right, next up, Brian Marquez.
I marched 2001, marched soprano, and I marched 2002. I switched over and marched baritone. Those were the only 2 years I marched Impulse. Now I'm making wine out here in Temecula Valley, still one of the Temecula kids. And then I also work for a hot air balloon company. So working on getting my pilot's license, flying hot air balloons. So good times.
Hey.
Great, next up will be Raul Martinez.
Hi, I was a charter member starting in 1999, marching through 2002. This was my last year as a marching member. In 2004, I came back as food crew, and I was also a character that year, kind of. Now I sell industrial tools.
All right, next up, Mike Nash.
Well, let's see. 2002, I was your tour manager, corps manager, whatever freaking else they had me do that year.
Pedro Tracer.
Harasser of the kids. Yeah, that's me. I work for a auto dealership, has 4 dealerships, and I'm the business development manager for all 4.
Next up will be George.
We're going Planet George, March 2000 baritone, 2001 euphonium, and 2002 I aged out. The only age out that year I played mellophone. I got a crazy volleyball injury and I just couldn't hold that horn up. I felt really weak, but you know what? One age out. Currently, I'm not doing anything. I was working in live entertainment, but there's really no jobs right now with this all going on. So just kind of hanging out and surviving.
Next up, Dan Zeilinger.
Hi, guys. Dan Zeilinger here. I'm Aaron's dad. Next? No, I'm kidding. I've been with the corps since the beginning. That year in 2002, I was supposed to be, I guess, horn caption to an extent and a ranger, but I ended up just being having the title of staff wrangler.
The ambiguous title of staff wrangler. Next up will be Jay.
Well, a lot of you guys know me as Jose. Was my name back then. I marched 2001. I played baritone. In 2002 and 2003, I was the drum captain. It's a long story how that happened. After that, I did a lot of music stuff, played drums professionally, and now I live in Washington, working for a construction company as a project engineer. Life has
Next
changed.
up will be Kate.
Hey, y'all. So I was only in the Corps in 2002, and my role was a character. That's what I did. And right now, I currently live in Portland, Oregon. I'm a school secretary, and I'm studying to become a school counselor.
Next up, Brandon.
Who's Brandon?
Who's Brandon? Oh, me. That's me. Oh, hey. What's up? I was the hitchhiker who picked up the start of tour in 2000, I think. Right? And then I marched up into 2002. Was my last year. Currently, I play trombone in a ska band that makes no money. And I used to do architectural sales, but COVID-19 struck. So I'm chilling. Me and Planet George are hanging out on Zoom a lot. Soon, maybe. Hey, George, let's hang out.
Next up, let's do Raphael.
Hi, I'm Raphael. I marched 2001, 2005, Euphonium 01, Contra 02 to 05, and currently now I teach music at Rutgers Unified School District.
And last, my name is Aaron Zeilinger. I marched mellophone in and out from 99 to 2003, but complete seasons 01, 02, 03. I cooked for 2004, 2005. I recruited in 2008, and I've been the corps director since 2017. If you're just tuning in, once again, this is the Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps 2002 watch party. If you've got any questions or comments, please drop them in on our Facebook live chat, or you can email secretary@impulseyoutarts.org. We are doing a t-shirt fundraiser that's been on our Facebook page for a while. We also have just launched an institute, the Impulse Institute. You can find more information at www.impulseyoutarts.org. So our first question is going to go to Raphael.
All right, this question goes to Dan. What was the way the show was supposed to start, and who was the corps poking fun of?
Well,
Why did it change?
originally, that original idea for that Z-Pull opening was Rocky Point Overture. How many of you guys remember when we had Rocky Point? Yeah, and it made no sense with the show. And it was impossible to try and play and do that Z-Pull so fast. And so we just chucked it and tried to get something that would be more thematic. Ta-da!
All right, the next question is going to go to Kate, Raul, and Evan. What are all the things that Lucy tried to do during the show?
I'll let you guys take this first.
Oh, come on, you were the one that did it.
We should ask her why she did it.
I honestly can't remember any of it other than it being super fun. Like, I don't know. It was.
Well, we're gonna watch the video and you'll remember a lot.
Yeah. I was actually gonna watch it beforehand, but I didn't because I wanted it to be more fun right now for me to let everyone know that my memory's gone. So.
No, I've got a couple of them. So she played a drum at one point. She tried playing a trumpet.
She stole somebody's trumpet.
There were no trumpets. It was 2002.
Oh yeah,
Which is why
sorry,
she
we're still in G.
Technical.
Yes.
Proper labeling, please.
It was a saxophone.
Wait, no, didn't she steal Evan's trumpet or a sop during the show?
Honeys.
Yeah, she did.
Was
I-
it right?
Just
Don't worry,
like
Jaime.
the saxophone first, and then
Or
she
no,
did
Jaime.
Oh, it was
Was it-
Jaime.
Pretty sure it was Jaime.
Okay.
Yes, it was the
You had-
tenor sax first.
Wait,
So in
Evan
like
had a solo that show, right?
Didn't she end up just playing triangle?
She
So
ended
I
up
do
playing
triangle.
little tiny cymbals that I still have.
Wait. Let's let Lucy herself
It's
answer
too
this.
exciting.
So, obviously the I Love Lucy, one of the themes of that show is that Lucy is constantly trying to get into Ricardo's band, the Tropicana, but the reason that it's funny is because she's so terrible at everything that she does. And so in the show, my goal was to try to do all the things that everybody else in the show was doing. So I stole somebody's horn terribly, and I joined the pit for a hot second. I was like banging on timpanis and stuff, and it was awful. I took a flag from somebody and was doing color guard work just terribly. And then eventually, which we'll talk about later, I took over as the director. So that was really very fun.
I'm in shock how I don't remember all of this.
Neither do I.
There's the symbols.
Oh my God.
I think those are the, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you at one point take a nap on the field? And that's why we got the ballot.
Dream sequence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the dream sequence, which is actually my favorite piece we ever played.
You know why this is so hard for us? Because we marched it, I think, and we didn't pay attention on the field to the instructors as it was. So we weren't paying attention to the show. We were, so, you know.
We're in the show. We're going to watch the show while you're
Exactly. That's what
Honestly, I had my dot sheet and my music, and I just like.
That was it, right?
I don't remember.
Like, all my memories of the show are coming from, like, the videos I remember seeing, like, back in the day. Like, that's what I remember.
Yeah. And to be fair, there was so much that you couldn't see from wherever you were on the field. So who knows what somebody was doing over there? It didn't matter.
Most of the time, I was just staring at the back of McClay's head. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question goes up to Mike Nash. Who was the core poking fun of during the closer, and who did the judges think we were poking fun at?
You know what? I don't remember. I really don't.
Does anybody?
I
Dan?
do.
We made fun of two cores in the closer that I remember, at least. We did the Phantom Planet, or
Regiment.
Wasn't it the Cavaliers Diamond Cutter that we did?
And then at
Dude,
the end,
oh, yeah.
The horrible Diamond Cutter.
yeah, that was like where it was like everybody was in fours and rotated. I fell during that move in Canada. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody almost died during that move in Canada.
Yeah.
Several times.
I'm just going to show it out there. I have a picture of the start of the diamond cutter up on my screen right now, but I'll leave that. I'll leave that there for later.
Are the lines straight? And that's all I want to know.
Yeah, we're not moving, so it looks great.
All right, the next question goes to Jay. What's the story about the drum line between the two seasons? Everyone that's tuned in noticed that 2001 we had this ridiculously large drum line, absurdly large drum line, and then we go to 2002 where it's much smaller. So walk us through what that looked like.
Well, 2001 obviously was amazing. That's when I was marching baritone, and I kept hearing talks about, oh yeah, Rich is gonna come back, and I'm like, oh sweet, I want to join the drum line because I'm a drummer. And then somewhere along the lines, like, I forgot what happened exactly, but Rich didn't come back, so there was no drum instructor, I believe. And I was already in that mindset. I'm like, I'm gonna go and play drums because I was naturally a drummer. So they got this guy named Robert Subia, and he started like recruiting people. They couldn't recruit anybody. It was kind of like, it's kind of weird. So I auditioned. There were other people who auditioned. They made it. They ended up leaving. And then I got some of my high school buddies to come and audition. They all made it. Then they ended up leaving. We got a couple of other guys, and it was just I was thinking, you know what? Maybe we're gonna live up to the standard of 2001. There was just no way. I mean, it was a decent drum line comparing the two. I mean, they were two totally different worlds, but it was very interesting. Because I was expecting like something similar to 2001. We didn't get it, but I think we did pretty good for our small size. I think we did.
Well, as a follow-up to that, like, was it strange going from a baritone player to the center snare? I mean, to drum captain from 01 to 02? And do you remember
going from the horn line, being a rookie to a section leader the next year, I got a lot of flack for it, but I mean, for me, playing drums was just more my natural thing. So, but being put in a leadership position like right off the bat was like, okay, I've never been a section leader in a drum corps before. But we made it happen. And yeah, I remember my INE. I still have it on paper and I can still play it. So
nice.
Yeah, I can still play it. It's written on paper. If anybody wants it, they can have it.
All right. next question goes up to Mike Nash and Evan, and anybody can jump in if they want to. What were some of your favorite memories from the O2 tour?
You go first, Evan.
Oh my God. I mostly remember things off the field. I think that I spent a lot of time with the Zeilingers that year and that summer, and with Aaron and Melody and Katie and Raul a lot. Just like, a lot from the end of May until early July when we left on tour. It was the best part of being in high school and going to summers. Like it was just the best. I remember hot days and lots of sunscreen and giant jugs of water. And I remember the beginning of Pagliacci. Or no, not the beginning. It was like the moment where we hit the like big chords and we were moving across the field. But I don't remember anything else.
I walk.
Yeah. But it was, this year was special. It was great. The Hawaiian year was super fun, but it was awesome to do the show and have it be the last one that I was a part of.
And Evan and Raul and Kate, wasn't this the year we had the water cooler in the back of the bus?
Yes.
We had like a big ice cooler and we put snacks in it, and like the bottom layer of it went bad.
Yes.
Get out.
I honestly but it wouldn't surprise me if we hid food and drinks just for us, because we were pretty tight.
We were the cool kids.
I didn't say that. We were next to the bathroom, and it was not the most pleasant of smells.
We were such nerds. My main takeaway from that season, and it's actually something Dan said, it was, you'll never have as many friends as you do this minute. And for those of you that are still marching drum corps, appreciate that time, because it's very true. You have so many friends right now, and you need to appreciate them, because I haven't seen some of these people in a decade at least. And so just appreciate that time that you have together. It's amazing.
It's an incredible bond. It truly is, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I remember I don't see people all the time, but I'll see them just randomly, and you just have that connection. Like, even with Raul, I remember like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I hit him up, man. I was at this really cool show at this venue I was working at, and I thought he would dig it. I was like, hey, I'm going to hit up Raul. And he came out and went out to this awesome show. And same thing with Pedro, just around. Just, be able to hang out, and you see someone you're a fan. You just have that weird connection, that bond that you just can't explain. It's just there.
Oh, no, for sure. Like, I remember making the bonds I made. And recently in the past year, since I went back to an Impulse fundraiser at the brewery meadery, I hooked up recently with Byron Baba. I got back into the ska scene where I met Planet George again. And it was cool just like reliving, hanging out, having a drink. I'm like, man, I miss these guys. These guys were like my bros back in the day, my brothers. Like, we would have, there's a story coming later in this telecast, maybe, a full core retreat on this tour. But yeah, these were my brothers. Like, we would have, like, if anybody crossed that Impulse line in full core retreat, we had everybody's back. Like, it's crazy. Like, so if you're marching
respectfully
now,
and legally.
Exactly.
Hold the line. Hold the
line.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line. But yeah, it's cool. So if you're marching now or you're thinking about marching, I mean, dude, like, this is like friendships you'll live a lifetime. Like, I just saw Raul. I stayed at his house. His family housed me. And I'm still so appreciative of it to today. It's like, I see him, I'm like, man, I want to go have a drink with Raul now. Like, let's go. Let's catch up, man. Like, it's just a bond forever. Like, it's great.
Mike, what's your favorite memory of O2?
Let's see. Which one do you want me to go? I have Iowa, which was pretty fun place to be in. That was a nice high school. Ended up knowing that the janitor of the school ended up going to one of the schools that one of my buddies went to at high school. And so he opened up a lot of shit for us at that school. If you guys know, we had like laundry, we had ice machine, we had all this special shit hanging out because he just opened up the room for us. The only other place I remember was going to Decatur from Wisconsin, and right in the middle of the fucking goddamn tornado. Holy shit.
I don't remember that. Weren't we like in?
That's
Yeah.
for
We ended rehearsal early. I remember like when it got chocolate milk, and we're like, dude, it's pouring rain outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember my last part was in Madison, and you guys went out to rehearse. I got you guys up in the morning. I got everything going. I got everything first day there. I get up to sit on the goddamn podium on the scaffolding on the very top. I'm sitting there trying to watch rehearsal, and I fucking fall asleep. I fell asleep because you guys kept me up like 3 hours a day for like 6 days straight, and I was dying.
Moving on.
Right.
Wait. I remember the Colossus Roar too. That's one of my favorite things. Hearing that.
Wait, was 2002 when we went through Nebraska by any chance, Lincoln?
We were in Nebraska 01 and 02.
Which year was it where like we got off the bus in the parking lot of Nebraska University or whatever?
That was
Sorry.
01.
Oh, sorry. And there was like just a field of June bugs everywhere. Okay, that wasn't 02?
No, it was 01 because we had to screen each other before we got back on the bus.
Oh yeah.
Forever to get back on the bus.
Okay, I thought that was
You were like crunching your way to the bus the whole way there. It's gross.
All right, moving on.
All right, next question goes to George and Raul. What place did Impulse finish at finals that year?
I don't know.
In my heart, number 1.
I just remember having a great time. Like,
Hey?
we was at a point where we knew we weren't going to make it on for the next day, but we just knew we were going to have a great time and perform, and then that's what it was all about.
But at the same time, if I remember correctly, like those early years, we didn't care about the scores. We just cared about entertaining the crowd.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we knew.
We cared about the scores.
We cared.
I felt like we got a little bit of pushback from the judges. They didn't take us as seriously because we were trying to introduce this comedy element into things, and so therefore they didn't appreciate the musicality that we were putting into it, the difficulty of the drum lines parts, and so
And the drill
got to a
too.
point
I
where it
mean,
was just like, you know what, do what we think is best, make sure it's a great show, and just enjoy it. And that's what I think we did.
I'm convinced the judges just hated melody.
yeah.
We had
Maybe.
melody every year.
Wait, hated my
Most
sister?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's wrong with Mel? I mean, I
Not
love
your
her.
sister, just the fact that our music had melody, you can actually remember it after you watch the show.
You know, that's true. Some things about it, so if you want to know about the judges' perspectives on things, I would have them come up to me away from the field and tell me how much they love the core and how much they love the show, and then they would tank us on the sheets. And I think a lot of that, in fact, a couple of judges told me the problem was the fact they were watching Katie the whole time.
Good
And
job.
so they missed drum hands. They didn't pay attention to what was happening with the horn technique. I mean, there's stuff we were doing on Just Kidding that was insane. We had really, really hard book.
Yeah.
horn-wise.
That was a hard book. I remember.
And it
that.
was completely ignored.
Yeah, way to go, Katie.
Wasn't there
Yeah,
wasn't there a stupid run, not stupid, but harder run for contra players, I should say, and that's why it was stupid for us. Wasn't there like a crazy run in that show that like da 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 da? Or is that 2001? I'm thinking of.
It
That
sounds
was
like
2001.
before show ever out.
Before we do the
Closer.
You're a week late.
See, 2002 was so hard to remember. I don't know why.
What was it 2002 when Magic?
If you were
came out
watching
too, and
Kate.
We're watching Kate. No, we had a crazy run in 2002. I want to say because that was the year that the contra line could actually play it.
I don't know. I mean, I love the
Because
show.
2001 we couldn't play that run. In 2002 there was a crazy run and all 8 of us could play it like good-ish.
Let's come back around.
I guess we'll have to listen for it.
Exactly.
And did you guys already name all the contras?
No, that's
Is that
later.
Well,
Oh, that's your question? Okay.
But
Yeah.
the next question actually goes to the tag on your picture. George, tell us about how you got the name Planet.
Pretty much in 2000, I didn't really come from a strong marching program, and I wasn't the greatest marcher, but I got a lot better. And Charlie nicknamed me Planet because people would guide to me, and they would like gravitate towards me and not the form. So, I mean, I'm a large man. I'm 6'4", and probably in 2000 I was probably 300 pounds. I'm about 250 now. Drum corps, best diet plan ever. But that's how I got that name. And
Punch.
you get a nickname, man. You wear it with pride when you're in drum corps. I mean, Pedro isn't that guy's real name. I'll tell you that. It's just kind of how it works, and that's kind of how I got it. And actually, that year I got baby shoes that were spray painted gold at our end of the year, like get together, and I got best improved marcher in 2000. So, but that's how I got the name Planet George.
Most improved 2000.
Yeah.
All right. Next question goes to Dan, Brian, and Raul. How many endings were added to the show? And what was the hidden joy of messing with the judges and the announcers every single time they thought we ended the show, but we didn't?
Now, are we counting different cutoffs? Because I know a lot of us stopped at the right time, and then there were the bases.
Let's just say endings.
Well, I think we had the original one, and then we decided to go back to what we did in 01 because we were kind of known for it. So I remember adding 2 endings. So.
Yeah, there were two set. The show actually ended 3 times, I think, in that arrangement. And it was a matter of guys, you guys had any idea what the design meeting was like for that show? It was not fun. But yeah, if you'll see it on the video. There's actually like 3 definite endings where the chorus should have stopped, or musically could have stopped and didn't.
Yes, there was the end of Pagliacci, and then there was a reprise of the I Love Lucy theme.
Right.
And then there was a whole other thing.
Was it I Really Mean It again, or was that 2001?
No, that was both years.
And both years.
This is the year that pissed off the judges the most, though.
Yeah.
Because they were shutting off their tape deck. They'd already shut off their tape deck, so you did the turnaround.
Yeah, they weren't giving us the scores though, so.
Oh, well, actually, there was kind of like 4 endings, wasn't there? But it was fine. Running off the field was good. And the Boston lean at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was awesome.
Were we still doing the strut in 2002? On the way off?
Yeah. We also did a CS for Cookie. Let's see how that started.
That was 2000. The C for Cookie started.
Yeah, I always
No,
got
not-
Cookie.
No,
At least
2001. Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, it didn't start in 2000.
Yeah, it was 2001. That was the same year we did the Send in the Snuffleupagus. We were on a Sesame.
Send in the Snuffleupagus. So
Oh, yeah.
My son is now 4, and we've seen every Sesame Street known to man, and I can't help but always think of Send in the Snuffleupagus. All the
I
time.
just remember after a show going by the troopers doing the CS for Cookie and just trying not to giggle.
You guys may not remember, but when we did that, Troopers caught on to that, started doing it, and the Blue Double Guard started doing it.
We passed once by Blue Knights doing it, and after going over it, and we passed right by their drum captain head, who that following fall ended up being the brass captain for RCC. And that's how he knew me by the entire time. Cause he's like, "Did you watch one?" Like, "Yeah, I watch Impulse." See this for Cookie, and that's why he called me the entire season RC. See this for Cookie, come here.
Yeah, that was Yosuke's brilliant idea. No, I was wrong. Troopers did G is for Gold Bond.
Yes.
Oh, Gold Bond. Oh, such a great product.
All right. This next question comes with an image. Kate.
Oh boy.
Look at that. Tell me about how you came to this corps, and as a follow-up, how did it feel being one of the only characters that wasn't really a part of a section? You just did your own thing. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, this picture is incredible. I can't believe that was me at one point. Amazing. So I came to the corps through the Zeilinger family. I was a regular staple in that household for a while when the show for 2002 was being planned, and I remember kind of always wanting to be a part of it because all my friends were a part of it, and it was something everyone was so excited about. But I didn't have any skills in any area.
Oh, you are a decent baritone player.
Oh, my section really carried me, but thank you. And so, you know, after a while, somebody, it's probably you, Dan, was like, you know, we're doing I Love Lucy this year. Would you be interested in being a character? And I don't really remember how all of that played out, but that's kind of how I got involved. And, you know, I just can't speak really enough about my experience with Impulse and being a character. It was such a unique role to play, in that, you know, I'd wake up with everybody else and run the track and the block with everybody else. And then when I would just kind of choose where to go and see where I could be most helpful. And sometimes that was helping make the food, and sometimes that was spray painting the field for later. And it was just it was just the best experience. I loved every second of it. It was such a wonderful thing to be part of a large group of people cooperating and having fun. And, you know, everyone was trying so hard and working so hard and being so good at what they were doing. And then also to not care about the scores and kind of have that be the culture of our core, that we were in it to have a lot of fun and make connections and entertain the crowd. Like, that just ruled. And I'm so proud of that time and proud of being a part of the core. And, you know, I'm not friends with anyone who was involved in drum corps now. And when I talk about it, it's like this special thing that I can't really explain to anyone. So I don't know. I loved it. It was the best experience. And anybody out there is on the fence about it, do it.
Hey, Katie, I remember asking you. I also remember I tried to use you as a librarian for the horn line when you first got there. That didn't quite kind of work.
No.
But something everybody else doesn't know is your mom tried to pull you out of the corps until she saw the show and tell.
I don't remember that specifically because that was like that most of the time, but.
Yeah, well, she came up to me and said, Dan, you know, we were going to ask Katie to leave the corps, but now that I've seen the show, I realized that it would be unfair to pull her now because you use her so much in the show. I said, You got it, Mrs. Bennett.
That's so sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that adds up. Thanks for sharing.
All right, next question goes over to Pedro. Was this the biggest contra line that the corps ever had? As far as you know. Unmute yourself.
Of course.
Yes, I believe we had 8 that year, which we were proud of. I mean, 8 contras in a Division II corps, that was like unheard of, pretty much. I mean, there's only maybe one other corps that year that had that many, and they ended up winning the championship.
And as a quick follow-up, when you joined the corps and you mentioned this, you're known as a trombone player. You say you play ska band, you play trombone. But when you came in 2002, you came in the middle of the season, there weren't any baritone spots open, so all they had was a contra spot. So that's what you marched. Contra/tuba, you know, for all of those who don't know what contra is. So what made you stay on contra in 2001 and 2002 and not switch over to baritone, being as you're a very good trombonist?
You know, it comes down to salesmanship, I guess. I mean, when I joined the corps in 2000, I remember seeing the show at Citrus College, and I'm like, oh man, that is fun. Like, it's marching band, it's what I'm doing right now in high school, yeah, but like, they're having a good time. Like, I want to do that. So I went up to the tent, and they're like, yeah, you know, we're actually looking for a contra player. I'm like, well, contra, what's that? I play trombone. And I met Chris Mathis. I think Mrs. Baba, I think I was talking to, or one of the Silingers. I forget. But I was like, yo, I want to do this. My mom was there. And so she was talking to him. And I got hooked on it. I think Chris kind of laid it out for me. And that stuck with me the whole time was, you know, you can play baritone, you can play soprano, you can play mellow, that's cool. They're light. They're like 3 pounds, 5 pounds.
Easy.
Yeah, pick this guy up. And I'm like,
heavy.
yeah, let's go. I can do this. I'm a trombone player. I can do anything. So I picked it up and I'm like, oh, that's heavy. okay, cool. But I want to do this. How do I get in? He's like, we only have a spot for a contra. So I learned it. I fell in love with it. The clout you just have on the field, being able to twirl a contra on a field, which I think only Impulse people have done recently, maybe? I don't know if anybody else has done it. But to be able to take a freaking giant piece of brass and twirl it and play it with precision, like that was, to me in my head, I'm like, I want to do that. Plus also it's easier to hold an instrument on your shoulder with elbows out than out in front. So baritone, which would have been my next thing, there were too many good players like Ski and Chris and everybody on baritone line. So this was also hard strength-wise, but yeah, that made no sense, but there's your answer.
All right, time for a quiz. Rafael and Pedro, do you remember all the names of your 8 contra players that year?
I'll just start, Pedro. All right, there was Pedro.
All right, there's Brandon Gonzalez, aka Pedro. There was Rafael. There was Chris Mathis. There was McClay.
No, not an 02.
Yeah, McClay was 02.
No,
He came back.
Oh, one.
didn't
No, not
Oh,
an
one.
02.
Not an 02.
he? Oh crap!
There was-
Then I'm
there
all
was
messed
Gabe.
up.
There was Gabe.
Gabe. Well, yeah.
Gabe, so that's 4.
Oh, Gabe. We had Victor.
Yeah, aka Toaster.
I don't remember that nickname, but Victor, yes.
Christian.
Was he the young-looking one
He was the one who shaved his head from Rubik's High School.
from Rubidoux High School? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember him.
You guys are forgetting Alicia.
Yesenia.
Where Yesenia was
Yesenia?
our crazy awesome firefighter chick from Yorba Linda. I remember her. She was
Yeah.
awesome. Dude, she pushed me a lot. I remember her that year. Like, I was like, man, she's running faster than me. Dang it. All right, let's go. Come on. Yesenia was awesome. Who else was there?
Wait, someone who was skinny, like skinnier than me.
We were all skinny back then. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I got that. That's all I
Brian.
got. Brian.
Yeah. Like Kubik.
Wait, is Chris on this? Chris, do we have a Brian?
We had Brian.
Oh, yeah, he went to,
Kubik.
he
Yeah,
ended
Kubik,
up
white
going,
hair, blonde hair.
Brian ended up going to Pacific Crest.
This is from Tribuco
From
Hills.
Tribuco Hills. Okay, yeah, all right.
All right,
I mean,
fine.
eight is a lot to count for a contra player. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
All right, fine. You know what? Revenge time, Pedro. This question's for Aaron, Raul, and Planet George. Can you name everybody in your section?
No.
Aaron, Raul, George.
No.
There was a Ryan. Right?
There was a Brock. And there was a Nate. There was a Javier, right?
Nathan Condell.
Yeah,
No helping Dan.
Oh, Nathan. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, he
Okay,
came in
no
from the
helping.
symbol line.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's one more, and I think it was Octavio.
Maybe.
I swear he got it. I just remember he was the guy that laughed just like Brock. So when they first got on the bus together, they both laughed at the same time and didn't stop for 5 minutes.
I also remember your dad, Aaron, made me a special mouthpiece because I was a baritone player, and he like poured that thing out like crazy. It was just super deep, and it was like the biggest mellophone mouthpiece ever. One thing I remember about that year.
Oh, goodness. Well, to everyone that's been tuning in, if you've been dropping questions on Facebook, I've been following along. If you've got any questions during or memories to share during the post, just make sure that they're family friendly because this is a live stream. This is the 2002 Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps Watch Party. The panelists are all from this particular year. We are doing this every week on Saturday at 6 p.m. Next week is 2003. We're going to be watching the show, and then we'll have some questions afterwards. We are running a t-shirt campaign to keep Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps going during this COVID crisis. You can find that information on our Facebook page. We have also just launched an online institution where you can enroll monthly and learn whatever skill you would like to, from woodwinds to brass, music theory, music history, conducting, percussion of any sort. And you can find more information about that on www.impulseyoutharts.org. We're going to be watching the 2002 show and then coming right back with more questions. So thank you very much and enjoy.
Presenting a production of Hey Lucy, We're Home, A Night at the Copa. From Buena Park, California, Impulse. Are the judges ready? Drum majors Luke Armstrong and Omar Vidania. Is Impulse ready? Impulse, you may take the field in Drum Corps International Division 2-3 competition. from Buena Park, California, Impulse.
I mean, the diamond cutter was so good. You guys see
Dude,
that?
the diamond cutter was
Oh.
insane. Oh my
What
god.
the heck? I can't believe we went through that.
I can't believe you guys made us do that. Jeez,
Like,
kill some people.
really
we
hard
might.
here before.
Oh, didn't we like crack people in the head during like practice a few times with that?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah, there's a few
hell.
people got hit in the head from the backside during
Of a contra.
of Contra.
Man, fun.
We had a few injuries in Madison. Oh my lord.
Did you know that Katie had a better conducting pattern than both Luke and Omar?
I'm not
So
surprised.
burned.
Well, that's why one of them's not a band director now, right?
Oh.
Oh.
You're talking
Oh, I
about
meant
Omar.
Omar.
Ouch.
I meant Omar.
All right, Planet George,
I
I
love
have
you,
a question
Omar.
for you. All right, how did it feel being the only age out that year?
I don't know. It just felt like something I had to finish. I mean, it was kind of sad to be the only one out there, but it was awesome too. And just to be out there at the ending ceremony and leaving my socks I wore every single show on the field was kind of fun. They were very, very crunchy. And then getting to hear some of my friends up in the crowd doing some Colossus roar for me. Thank you, Mr. Marquez. So it was very memorable. I hung out actually with Gilligan from last week. He aged out that year as well, but he finished with the Corps from San Diego. So it's a little, we just hung out the whole time while we were doing the whole age out circle thing in Wisconsin. But yeah, man, it was awesome. It just felt good. There's the only choir march, the choir I loved, and just to finish it that way, it felt like the right thing to do. And I'm the only one with the 2002 age out pin. So,
Yeah, man. Rarefied air in the Impulse family.
Yeah.
All right, this one actually goes out to Evan, Brian, Raul, pretty much anyone that wants to jump in on this. I'm going to preface this a little bit. Since I took over Impulse in 2018, I've slowly started bringing back what I'm lovingly calling shenanigans, which is more or less the things we did in public at award ceremonies that may or may not get us in trouble.
It did.
As Mike Nash knows, because the corps he works with was one of the corps we got in trouble with.
Yes.
But for all the, especially the members that are a part of the corps nowadays, can you share some of the appropriate shenanigans we pulled maybe at awards those years, or any memories you had of things we did that, brought us some of our infamy?
I remember passing popcorn around at one point.
Yeah, I remember a lot of mad dogging Santa Clara. Like, I remember just standing next to them being like, you guys can't move and we can.
A lot of unearned confidence there. Yeah.
Even though I was in the drum line, I used to throw lemon heads across and watch them go tink, tink, just.
Oh, gummy
them
bears,
over.
yeah.
No, I had lemon heads. Well,
that's
you
mean,
can actually
bro.
hear.
Like, yeah. I mean, ours would stick. Yours would ding. Like.
Yeah, but imagine if everything's quiet. You just hear this ding.
One of the most memorable things was
Hey, do you guys remember this? Ski said he wanted to do all the commands, but he said them on Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 2000, we had one of the closing ceremonies things in Oregon, and we're right next to BDB, and so they always put the biggest guys at the end of the line. So I remember being there holding the line, and then there was this little kid from BDB.
George, before you go on, can you defend the line or hold the line?
So
hold the line.
You get your 5 or 10 yards where we all group up where they do the ceremony then where they give out the awards and the scores. I don't think they do that much anymore. And
They only do it at finals areas. So the California or West Coast finals,
Yeah.
and then at championships. But those are the only two places they allow it anymore.
Well, 2000 they still
It's
allowed
our
it.
fault.
And I remember being in Oregon, so they put me at the end of the line. So you're not supposed to go over. You're not, respectfully, you stay in yours, and all the other course stay in theirs, right? So I put my foot on the line, and like I said, I'm fairly large. I'm Planet George, right? So this little maybe 105-pound, 14-year-old kid from BDB is right next to me, and he's trying to push me. And I'm literally just not moving. He literally just turns and physically starts actually trying to push me the little thing, and they had to separate him from me. And I just stood there stone cold the whole time. That's one thing I truly remember.
George, how far over the line were you though?
I wasn't I was on the line, but that guy was trying to, I forget all the marching commands, but you spread your legs or something like that. He was doing something and he just couldn't move. And he was just I don't know. It was quite memorable and quite funny, if you ask me. I remember after that, everyone always asked me about that moment. But there's a lot, man. Just hanging out and having a good time where everyone else is so serious. And Aaron, one thing I would love for you to bring back, man, bring back the shades, man. Bring back the strut, man. It was just so much fun to march off the field and have a good time knowing that we finished and we're there to entertain.
It's all a work in process, my friend. Just
The
keep your eye on the course.
shades, man. The shades.
remember
Those
the
were great, dude.
It
I remember having the raccoon tan every time I would go back to school after Impulse.
I remember
I
we
just
got
had the sunglass
we
tan.
all had different shades, so then we had to stop wearing them. And boo to that.
I remember we messed around even with the Huntington Beach 4th of July parade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's
Doing little stuff that nobody else would do. It's parade, you go forward.
Yeah,
Where we really shine.
half the core would stay in line, and the other half would break.
Go Mosey.
They would go hang out. People would come back with hot dogs and
Oh
drinks.
yeah, dude. I remember. Not
They would take
coronavirus
pictures with the
friendly.
prettiest girl in a bikini they could find.
Yeah.
This was where Raul and I really shined.
I just remember
I get
a
home.
girl in an American bikini, and the drum line was "God bless America."
That was a great view, also being all the way in the back.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Brian took some pictures with some girls in bikinis, and someone else went and got a hot dog. I could clearly remember. during the
Somebody
break.
gave me an ice cream cone. So while we were marching, I was just
Yeah.
Oh,
everybody
and
else was playing.
We received beverages
around.
during that parade too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
but we
Sitting down in
turn
lawn
around.
chairs.
Do you remember that we would turn around, do back base, march backwards, and play behind us too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parades.
My calves still hurt from all of that parade block. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? You know what parade I do remember? The one we did in Michigan, in Grand Rapids.
Grand Haven.
Fireworks
Great.
afterwards.
No, Grand Haven, right?
Was it Grand Haven?
Yeah.
Grand Haven.
Nothing great.
Some city in Michigan.
It was the Coast Guard capital of the U.S.
Yeah.
That was
Because
Right on
that's-
Lake Erie.
That same night, we had laundry night, and we got a huge downpour by this giant thunderstorm that same
Oh,
night.
yeah. You know, I remember about that. I remember because that was also our day off, and some of us
Yeah.
were out on town, and then we
Yeah.
convinced the bus driver or the trolley driver who was out of service to take us back to the school.
Here's,
Hey,
I was walking down I remember I was walking down the street to this Rite Aid with somebody I was dating at the time. Her name was Lizette. She was in the pit. She was my girlfriend at the time, and it just started raining. It came down. We were a mile away from the housing site because Charlie was like, "Yeah, go ahead. You guys got time. No big deal." I'm like, "All right, Charlie, we're gonna go." And we were drenched, so we had to flag down a cop car, and we hopped in the back and took it. It was crazy. I've never been in a storm like that in my life, apart from the tornado earlier that year. But that was.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was
man, 2002. All the
And then next
national
thing we had to be in
disasters.
Canada.
Oh,
Hey, Pedro, do you remember trying to line the field in Canada the next day? In the rain?
So I remember Canada because it was, I think, the only year we went up there that I marched. Kitchener, Ontario, right?
Went
We
twice.
went to Canada twice,
01 and 02.
and we got
Oh,
a sleep
crap.
hockey rink each time, and it felt amazing because it was hot out.
Was 2002 the year that we did full arc ensemble in somebody's front yard and the homeowners came out with the kid?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I remember that year. That was great because that was a soccer field, right? That we were marching on and practicing on.
Yeah, and we stayed in the ice rink.
Yes. Oh, that felt so
I
good.
love that ice hockey rink. It felt amazing.
Oh, it felt amazing in there. Yes, 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 yes.
At least you stayed in the ice rink. When I was with the Conquistadors, we stayed in a stockyard.
Well, that was 1922, man.
Dude, I'm not that. Come on now.
Hey, Brian, you had
Man's
something
older
to
than
say?
I am.
Yeah, so we had back-to-back free days at that same place. I just remember that town having the nicest people because, like, nice. I know George, you were there. I don't remember Raul if you were there. We rented that like 16-passenger van on our free day. Like, we're gonna try to go to like a baseball game, like a major league baseball game on our free day, and like we all piled in the van. But in 2002, I think that's the year that we all went and saw like Austin Powers.
Yes, at the movie theater. Gold member, right?
He was gold member.
But like
gold member, yeah.
They saw our core jackets and our hats. And they knew us from the parade, and they gave us like a ride in their van. And then that night we had that rainstorm. We were like, the Temecula crew was all at Pizza Hut and doing our laundry because the laundromat was right there. And then the guy that worked at Pizza Hut took his break to drive us back to our housing site because it was pouring rain. I just remember that was like the nicest town that I had been in. So
I remember waking up the next morning after Austin Powers, and we were getting in line for breakfast, and it was a good breakfast that day too. I think we actually had scrambled eggs. I think we had the bacon-ish stuff that we had. But I just remember Tank waking up and smelling like puke, like no other. And I don't remember who's around me, but everybody's like, Tank, what happened yesterday? Nothing happened. But it was just the weirdest thing. Like, that was the one memory of Grand Haven, like, stuck out the most in my head. It was just like Tank, like, standing in the line and be like, dude, go in the shower, man. Go take a shower.
When my wife went to go buy that breakfast stuff at the grocery store right across the field in Grand Haven, she went in there. She didn't have her car with her. She just walked over there. And the cashier gave her Cadillac to bring the groceries back.
I remember. So cool.
The same town that Tank and we got our ears pierced, like in the basement of a salon. And, like, we were like 16, you know. We were. And the lady pierces our ears, and then she realizes she should have found out whether or not we were 18, and then she's like, just leave and come back. But yeah, that was a fun year. I came home with pierced ears. My mom was stoked.
Does anybody remember the breakfast place in Grand Haven? I think it was on Main Street, right? They only had one street. It was Main Street. But like, we all went there and we all had pancakes like at different times. But it was like the greatest breakfast place ever. Anybody else remember that spot?
I remember
Did
the
it
spot.
have
I forgot the
mural?
name of it.
It had like a mural of like a sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have pictures of it somewhere,
I
but
totally
no.
remember. I had totally forgotten.
Like, to this day, I have dreams about the pancakes I had there, but like,
Those are the best pancakes I've ever had, even to this day.
yeah.
Like, even to this day.
To this day, I tell people, like, when I just randomly talk to people at bars, I'm like, this one time I was in Grand Haven, I had the best pancakes ever in my life. I kid you not, it's a story I tell. Like, those pancakes were so good.
They're life-changing. They were life-changing pancakes, man,
Oh,
for sure.
Grand Haven, thank you for having us, and thank you for the pancakes.
Well, this will give all you longtime alumni some happiness. The parade shenanigans are still a thing. I have pictures up on the website of one of our snare drummers ran up to a banquet and grabbed 3 hot dogs and a bag of chips, and he's marching with a hot dog in his mouth. That picture is up on our Facebook. They sat in lawn chairs. They accosted people's like front yards. It was fantastic. There's a couple pictures. The Jurassic Park, the newest movie, had just come out, so they had like trucks driving in the parade, and our drum majors went and sat in the trucks and took pictures as dinosaurs. So those parade shenanigans are still there.
Fantastic.
We taught them well.
Yes.
Good job, kids.
I mean, it's for next week, but I still have a distinct memory that I'll have to share about running into a restaurant during the parade down south, where I ran up to the host and asked if they had 160 seats available in my uniform as the Corps was approaching, And she said, what? And I said, I got to go, and ran out. So the parades, I hated. The high school I went to was a parade based, like our band director loved parades, and I hated marching them until I got to Impulse, and it was all of those things that were just so much fun. And if I remember right, the shenanigans for the parade started on a whim. Didn't Spam yell that out during a parade?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He just started yelling out, says, "Go, go, go, mingle."
Yeah,
This is for.
you know.
I've answered everybody's questions. This is completely off topic. It was called the Morning Star Cafe.
Oh, yes. Thank
we're
you.
going
Somebody just commented. I'm like, is that what it was? I looked it up, and it's Grand Haven,
Oh.
Michigan, dude. Shout out to Gary
Who
Parker.
oh, thank you.
Shout out to Gary
Yeah.
Parker.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was Gary Parker that looked it up.
Yeah,
So in the
I had to
lockdown,
confirm it. I googled it, and the first picture that came up is that mural. I'm like,
Oh,
there it is. There it is.
Blueberry pancakes. I just remember
Oh,
blueberry
yeah,
pancakes,
that's right.
man.
the
Oh.
day after a vaccine, we're all flying there.
Reunion.
Yeah, what sort of reunion is this? Don't ask. Don't ask. We all ate pancakes here like 20 years ago. Like,
Legend has it, these are still the best pancakes ever. We've come to find out for ourselves.
Why are you all guys playing bugles out of tune? What's going on? We're just old guys. Nostalgia. Don't
we
worry
show up
about it.
with instruments. Like,
Why are you playing I Love Lucy? I don't get it.
and horribly. What are you doing? Are you picking this up? Like, what's going on? All right.
Oh,
Well,
goodness gracious.
we have reached the end of our questions. For the people that have tuned in this entire time, thank you for joining us. This was the Impulse Drum and Bugle Corps watch party for 2002. Next week, we are doing 2003 at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's been a blast seeing all of you, and I hope throughout all of these connections, this inspires everyone to get back involved again. The Corps is still around, still going strong, and they love seeing alumni. I can tell you that the past 3 years being the Corps director, every time an alumni comes around and tells stories, they are so excited. And I can definitely tell you when Chris Mathis has come around and told them stories from 99, 2000, 2001, it makes their day. So make sure you make an appearance, drop in whenever you can, say hi to everyone. And for everyone tuning in, check us out on Facebook, on Instagram. Tune in for our watch party next week, and check out more information at www.impulseyouth.org. All of these watch parties will be uploaded to YouTube soon for you to check out and go back and relive some more. So thank you all very much. I love you.